Got it.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to the, May meeting for the Douglas Library Board of Trustees. Time I have right now is 5:07. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is reorganization for the chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary, and designated signers for payroll and expenses.
So are we missing some current?
If nobody objects, I'll nominate the same plate that's on us now. So it would be Danielle for chair, Kate for vice chair. I think it's Barbara for treasurer, me for secretary, Ellie, and then the designated signers of payroll and expenses would be Barbara and Dawn.
Right. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. The reorganization has passed unanimously.
Congratulations, everybody.
It was hard fought.
Yes, it was.
I know.
Just like my
I
writing
didn't
election.
even have to make a sign. Okay. Minutes from April 27th. Ellie sent those out. Hopefully everyone received them, had a chance to read them. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Discussion on the minutes from April 27th. Corrections, anything? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from April 27th? Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. Minutes are approved unanimously from April 27th, 2023. Moving on to the financial report. Turn that over to Justin. I just had a brief explanation of the negative on the repairs. I know we're doing a lot of things. That was $1,207.88. And then there were a couple other, nothing major, just a brief explanation of what it is. If you know.
Justin's muted.
I thought he was pretty quiet.
Justin, you're muted. We can't hear
So
you.
I've done all that and he can't talk to me.
Okay, that was weird. Let me try sharing my screen again. It muted my microphone audio as soon as I started sharing. Okay, there's a new thing, share tab audio. Stop that, don't do that. Okay, can you hear me and see the report now at the same time?
We can
We
hear
can
you.
hear you.
But not
Cannot
the
see the
report.
report.
We're not,
Okay, there it
oh,
is.
there, okay. We're good.
Oh, so now you can see the tab, but I can't. Now, can you see it?
Oh, no.
Okay, so can y'all see the report now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're ending the year with a lot of money in our operations account. This or our personal accounts. And this goes back to last year when Matt Wojcik told me I suck at math and added more money to the personnel budget. And it turns out I don't, and we didn't need it. So Operations, we have $3,885 left, which is tight, but we do only have one more month left. So I'm not anticipating any real problems. I'm done purchasing books. It's just, whatever bills straggle in, plus utility bills and all that stuff. Some of the line items went over. Repairs and maintenance, I think, Danielle, you were asking about.
Yeah, just a brief explanation.
Yeah, that was due to, let's see, we do the HVAC maintenance, and this line item increases a lot next year because we haven't allocated enough to it historically, but it costs, $1,375 just to service our mini splits. And we also did light repairs from Jeff Grenier. We had fire inspection. So that's been a total cost of $2,207. And fire inspection also used to go under other property. No, where did it go? Other services. Anyway, they reclassed that this year because they wanted to move that into this repairs and maintenance category.
Okay.
From where it used to be.
Where does that money go, Justin, for the fire inspection? I mean, does it pay the fire department? So is this a town?
The town contracts
paying another town department? I don't think that sounds too kosher.
No, the town contracts with Impact Fire. They inspect and maintain all of the fire extinguishers, the alarm thingies, the heat sensors, the detectors, and the automatic defibrillator that we have.
You have one?
The auto defibrillator, the heart restarter.
Yeah, when did you get one? I asked for one when they were giving them out for the library, and because they didn't.
That's when we got one.
Oh, have you been trained? Have you had to use it yet?
Nope, thank God.
This is too exciting.
I asked for training on it whenever they put it in, but they said that the whole thing is automatic and you don't really need training because like you open up the box, you start it up and it starts telling you what to do and it leaves very little room for error. It
is very, very extremely user friendly. You can't go wrong with it. There's nothing you can do wrong.
I'll find a way.
Not using it. So that was it. That's all. That's fine. I'm good.
And the private accounts, the money for our second grant disbursement's been added. So we've got $37,661 in our LIG MEG account now that hasn't been spoken for in any other way. Building donations with interest has jumped almost $4,000 since our last meeting because the Friends donated their excess funds to that. So when we get to the capital campaign, we can update that number. And I guess that's really it for the finance report. Those are the numbers.
Well, that's amazing for the Friends. That's very much appreciated.
Yes, thank you, friends.
Thank you, Friends, for sure.
Yeah, come to the book sale this weekend and spend a lot of money.
Oh, I can't wait. I've got so many plants, Ellie. Hopefully they make it till Saturday.
Yeah, me too.
I had a crap ton of basil to bring and rabbits ate it all.
Wow.
Oh, Justin, no. I
put all of my baby basil plants out on the rock wall so they could soak up the sun, and one rabbit came and now it's all gone.
Oh God, I've just put mine out on the deck to harden them off a little bit. But I don't think we get rabbits on the deck. That's crazy.
Yeah, you
Anyhow,
had
maybe it's
there. Yeah,
I guess I'm going to be a plant buyer instead of a plant supplier.
Yeah, I have more up to date. I know you don't like this, but I do. It's as of the end. April 30th, the Bartholomew Fund is at $89,058.90. So 89058.90.
very good.
I was like, I thought you wanted wanted me to check it in. So I went and I checked it and there was nothing. So I checked out the other two books. And
Okay, are we moving on? Under the director's report and
So,
circulation. We good?
Director's report. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but April was another record-setting month for circulation. Circled more this April than we've ever circled any other April. It's being driven by books and digital materials, but I've also started to see an increase in our DVD collection use. We've been trying to buy more bestsellers to increase, or new releases, I mean, to increase the appeal of that collection because it was kind of old. We got out of the habit of buying new DVDs during the pandemic and just kind of never really got back into the habit. It fell off the radar. But especially with, the streaming platforms becoming more exclusive, demand for DVDs seems to be kind of bumping up a little bit because I think people are fed up with having to, stream, have 5 different subscriptions to stream what they want to online.
Right. I'm going to stop, Justin. I'm going to stop for a minute because someone who's in the meeting has a lot of background noise that I don't know if it's bothering anyone else, but I'm finding it really hard to concentrate on what's being said. So if you're in a place where you could kind of go to
it's probably me because I'm in my office.
Oh, okay. All right, then I guess we can't do anything about that.
If I can decrease my sensitivity or something.
I'm sorry. Okay, carry on. Going back to circulation.
Circulation, installed additional shelving in the children's area. The youth fiction was out of space, but there were no weeding candidates because everything has circled in the last year, which means it's popular. So we just needed more shelves. So if you want to come in and take a look around there's 2 new shelves perpendicular to the gray ones that were coming out from the radiator. And it also kind of partitions the youth fiction off into its own section, which is neat. I think it looks good. We're currently in the middle of weeding adult collections for materials that haven't circulated since the pandemic and moving them up to the attic. And we will continue to be short-staffed through the end of the fiscal year. There's accrued time that needs to be used before July 1st that no one was able to use in May because everyone was ill. So everyone used their sick time instead of their vacation and personal time, and no one wants to lose it. So this month will be kind of like last month, but not as bad. But starting next fiscal year, I really do want to advocate for an additional staff because we're getting into these crunches a lot and the circulation numbers are moving in a direction that, I mean, we're busier. We're busier than we've ever been.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
The only other thing, and I think we touched on it before, is that staff are strongly encouraged to use their time during the year, although you can't, people can choose to do. I know, whether you're holding on to it in case you need it, but it seems like it becomes a staffing issue every year.
Yeah, it also, like all of our staff are sort of maxed out on the time they accrue too. We don't have anyone who's accruing just 1 or 2 weeks a year anymore. It's 4 to 6,
Right.
Which can honestly be a burden to try to use all of.
Yeah.
I haven't had a problem.
I don't think I would have that
5
problem.
years.
Well, I mean, to Deb, it is a problem because she tries to schedule time off, but she's got story times and her book clubs and she doesn't want to have to move anything. So it's like, well, when Gail's off, I'm going to take my vacation. And when, Gail's here, it's like, if one of them is here, the other one is going to be out for like the foreseeable future. Unless there is like a program or something going on that needs to be staffed.
Well, that's a very good argument.
I'm just happy that
Definitely.
they're willing to work with each other like that because it's great.
Oh, yeah, but that's a shout out for the fact that there is a need for another staff person.
I mean, it's Gail's birthday. She's here. I want to say happy birthday to Gail.
I always worked
Happy
on my
birthday,
birthday.
Gail.
Happy birthday, Gail.
She's
If I had
smiling
a
and
cupcake, I'd
nodding.
put it out at the end of my driveway.
Well, is there a way you could, have a vacation calendar in your office and people write down when they want their vacations and then they.
We do. The problem is accrual, because people accrue based on their hire date, and then they have to use before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
So, like Deb accrued a week of vacation, like in May. It's like, what are you going to do? You got to use it in June.
How does she do that? Why wouldn't she get it at the beginning of the fiscal
And
year?
because
For a higher date.
anytime she gains,
And she has to use it.
she
before
accrued an
June
extra year
30th?
this year, an extra week, because this counted as her 10th, 20, I don't know what year of service this was. 20th. This was her 20th year of service. So she accumulated another week of vacation in May, which then had to be used before the end of July or it goes away.
Before the end of June,
And
you
it's
mean?
the same with me because, the end of June, because like I was hired on June 1st. Anytime I accrue a week of vacation, I get it on June 1st and it has to be expended before
Oh,
July.
my goodness gracious.
That's a little crazy. That doesn't work.
I know.
Gail was hired in September, so she doesn't have this problem.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, it's nothing we can do work with that right now. So,
And we'll make it. We're doing fine. It's just a little thin stretched.
Right. And that again is to put that extra person in there into the budget for whatever it is, floater or
Since you have extra money this year, can't you hire, I see the old pages quite a bit visiting you. Is there a way to hire one of them just to serve as a, to fill in for the vacation time this year
yeah.
because you have that extra money?
Not
almost
not
like
at
a
this
substitute
point.
teacher. Like a substitute teacher.
Yeah, I would like to have a position like that, but hiring, like advertising for it now wouldn't do us any good before the end of June. Because we would have to
Right.
post it for 2 weeks. Then we would have to
Oh,
go
yeah.
through the
No,
hire.
No,
just
no, no,
hire
but-
somebody, hire the people there because it's just a temp. It's not a permanent position. It's just a temp.
I don't think I can do that.
Just get a page to work more hours.
Yeah, well,
Um,
no, not the page, the old pages that come in all the time to the library.
Excuse me, Justin, could you use bibliotemps?
Oh, God.
I haven't thought about reaching out to bibliotemps.
Oh,
I didn't
just
think they
saying.
were around anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen ads recently, so.
But we're not really that desperate.
Well, sort of sounds like you are.
I know. It's kind of like we're hearing two stories.
Well, I'm just saying I'm going to be covering the desk a lot in June, which I don't
Yeah,
mind
that's
because
good.
it's going to be a time I'm going to be wanting to reach out to patrons to try to force them to take surveys and join focus groups anyway.
It's very good to have you working the desk. It's very important that the people get to see you and know you. It's
I agree.
extremely important.
Yep.
I have another comment about the weeding. I'm really concerned about how radical it is. 3 years is a very short time to be removing books from the shelf.
I'm not throwing these out. I'm moving them to the attic.
Yeah, I know, but I can't go up there and look through them. Seems like that's an awful lot of books to be removed.
That's why we
Out
need
of
a bigger
room.
library.
Right, I thought it used to be something like 10 years.
I mean, I would weed them from the collection at that point. Give them to the friends.
But not if we get a new library.
It depends. I mean, we there's a lot of different reasons for weeding material, and you know, there's a lot of thought and decisions that goes into deciding what we keep, because it does take up space, and what we, you know, send on to a new home. Because if it's something that hasn't searched in 10 years and there's 40 other copies available in the CWMRs, there's really no reason for us to keep it.
That's a good point. And you have access, well, we all have access actually to the number of copies that are available through CWMRs, or, you know, now we're connecting with all of the different library systems. So yeah, if it's something that's readily available and there's 75 copies, Douglas probably doesn't need to save theirs.
But they're not weeding also?
Other libraries are bigger than us.
Yeah, but I think Justin, you check to make sure that it's not the last copy of a title that you're
Yeah, that
reading.
has to be done. That is like consortial policy. You can't throw away a last copy.
Well, that's what I was
Unless
getting at.
you send it out to, anytime you're weeding a last copy, you have to send out an email to all the other directors in CWMRs through the list serve and give them, I think, 2 weeks to claim it.
Yeah. No, that's what I was
Right
getting
now,
at.
I'm sucking up all of the CDs and DVDs that come up that way, because I'm trying to build up our CD DVD archive, which doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And I'll snag some books that way too, and just stick them up in the attic if I think it's something that the consortium needs. But usually it's, you know, library books get destroyed. You know, if it's something that's that old,
Yeah.
and still around, it means it was never read a whole lot to begin with. So it's usually extremely obscure stuff that comes up.
I
If
can
it's good
testify to
obscure, I
that.
like it. But if it's, you know, stupid obscure, then yeah.
No, I can testify to that because I recently took out a book that's been around for not a real long time, but is a paperback and it was in really rough shape. I was probably maybe the last or next to last person that was going to read it before it was taken out of circulation. So yeah, that happens too. So anyhow, okay, we're under old business, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm done with my report.
All right. Okay. Looking at the building projects and handicap accessibility. And at this point, I think we should get a chance to say hello to Mary Brainey.
Hello. Thank you for
Mary.
inviting me. Hello. Nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
We've met. This is Mary, trustees,
We have.
trustees.
Right. And I've been out to visit, so I've toured the library so that I see what you have.
Yeah.
And yep. And so Justin sent out the survey that we're working on, the draft survey.
Yeah.
To for you to look at and see if there's anything in it that you want to add or subtract. You know, is there something else you want to know that we didn't ask? It is still a work in progress. We have been going back and forth on it for a couple of weeks. So there's still time if you want to add anything, or you think there's something in there that doesn't need to be asked. And then we have a schedule for focus groups and public forums. And so just today I was on the webinar with Mass Board of Library Commissioners where they were talking about the grant round that is, you know, that this is all in preparation for. And they are very specific that the building program needs to have community input. So with the survey and with all these focus groups, will be getting some good community input. If there's something else that you can suggest or you'd like to see, to draw more, that'd be fine as well. We'll be, I'll be meeting with you folks too, to see what you need. And as we go along, that will identify the needs that you have. Clearly, handicapped access, parking, and some of the other space issues. One of the things that you were just talking about, the collection size and what you have for stacks, you're fortunate that you have some space to move the books upstairs when you weed downstairs, because many libraries have no other space, and for every new book they purchase they have to discard one. So that's, you have a little bit of a bonus, even though it's not accessible. So sorry. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Is there anything that you want to ask me, that you want to know any more about the whole building process? The building program is a letter to the architect to be able to describe what the town needs and wants for a library. So
Right.
if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, or I can just keep on talking.
I think we want to be sure, I know the board, I think I speak as the board, wants to be sure that we can get as much input from surveys and focus groups and all these other ways to really make an educated decision about what the town of Douglas really wants and needs for a library. So I don't know if you have any ideas for us as a board, how to promote things.
Well, one huge thing is just going out and proselytizing, just, as Justin said, trying to get people to come, really talking up these programs, handing out the surveys. I mean, literally or figuratively, because the survey will be online. Justin's also going to make some hard copies, and we'll generate a QR code that can be posted in different places on the town website, on the library website, on posters around town. So as much as you can get the word out, that is enormous. If you think that you would like to do some other forms, we can put up a poster in the library with a variety of choices and colored dots that people can sort of put their dots on. I was at the other day in our town, we're just starting a master plan, and I went to their visioning session, and they had boxes that people could vote if they were giving out false, fake money. And they had 8 or 9 boxes, and you got 3 choices. And where would you put your monopoly money, and what, what you valued? Could do something like that. So there are a variety of static things, if we want to engage in those. I particularly like the interactive ones. I use a process called SOAR, Strengths, Opportunities, Aspirations, and Results.
Oh, yeah, I've worked with that in my working days.
Okay, because when people are there in the same room and they talk, their ideas bounce off each other.
Right.
And so surveys are great. The different kinds of static input is great, but I think that there's a huge value in having the interactive conversations and things as well. So that's it. I don't know what what the press is like in your town, what you have a local paper, or I know the TNG's kind of lost its interest in presenting any news to anybody.
Well, one of our board members has a local source for one of the local papers, but it only comes out, I think, once a month. So she has to get her in from, and she's not here today.
Mhm. Oh, well, we'll just make sure
she
that-
has to get her information way ahead of time.
Yeah.
SOAR is strengths, operations, results, and
strengths.
what else?
Strengths, opportunities,
Opportunities,
correct?
yeah.
Yep. Aspirations.
Aspiration. Oh, SOAR is not, I spelled
And-
it SOAR hurting.
No, oh,
Aspirations.
SOAR, right.
Aspirations and
Yeah.
results.
That's 40 in
And
LE.
results.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not, it's that there's a similar process they call SWOT, but I think that
Mhm.
SOAR is a more positive approach than SWOT, just by the acronym, by the titles that they use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean, those are the biggest, if you folks are all out there advocating, and then if you identify, Justin's come up with what, I don't know, what do we have? About 6 different, couple of public forums and 4 focus groups or something, 3 focus. So if you folks, I do have it right here. But if you think we should do more, or you have any other ideas, that's great. If you belong to an organization, the Legion or Fish and Game or whatever, and you think a group like that would be willing to host a focus group, that's fine too. So whatever along those lines, to build to build as much input as we can get. And of course I'll be, and if you want to keep your own lists, your own ideas, so that we don't miss anything that you think is important, or even just talking to your friends around town as well, and listening. So that's it. Yeah. Get as much input as we can. So I know that
Right.
Justin
Can I
has,
jump in for 2 seconds?
Hmm?
Can I jump in for 2 seconds?
sure.
Here are our focus groups. So I am struggling to fill this July 6th at noon group at Town Hall. I have no, let's just start from the beginning, I guess. So Mary's going to be here on June 15th to do our, the 6:30 group, which is full up. Why does my screen keep doing this? There we go. We're not going to have trouble filling June 15th at 6:30 p.m. June 15 at noon, though, I have Adam and Danielle. So if anyone wants to jump into that, or knows anyone who would want to jump into that, that would be awesome. And the July 6th group also, I don't have anyone signed up for that yet. The kids, the adults, the forum, everything else is set, but it's those 2 noon.
July 6th at noon, right?
Yep, June 15th to July 6th.
Right.
Lunchtime,
I could do either.
Community resource room. You're already signed up for one of them, Danielle. So you're
Right,
going to be.
so- Well, if you're able to drum up more business for one than the other, I can do either one. So let me
Okay.
know.
I could do either one
Um,
of those two.
The rest of
you
those
guys
dates,
are local. You know who like the community power players are and who might be good to have sitting at these tables. And while the target is town leadership and building folk, I mean, at this point, anyone who we want to have a voice at one of these tables, I think would be welcome at one of these tables. Is that correct, Mary?
Absolutely. But we just want to be sure that we have representation, from the key players. There's some
Yep.
folks in town. Now, it's possible we scheduled those 2 during the daytime and the others later in the day and in the evening, just to make sure that everybody has a chance. So people who work at night can come in the daytime, or some folks can't drive at night or whatever. So, we try to schedule
What
something in the
if-
daytime, something in the evening.
I have a question.
Sure.
What if you did a Zoom meeting at some point, one time,
Sure. We could do that.
or
I've done it. And I've done hybrids.
a
So
couple times? Yeah.
yeah.
A
Yeah. So we
hybrid
could do
would be
that.
idea.
great. Hybrid would be really good.
I don't know what that is.
It's
It
a
means
combination. Go ahead,
Oh.
Mary. I'm sorry.
That's
I have a hard enough time with just one thing.
yeah, it's so people can it online or in person all at the same time, as long as the technology exists. It has to be in a place where, so doing a Zoom like this is fine with everybody on Zoom, but if we want to do a hybrid, it has to be in a place with a big screen and a communication mechanism.
Yeah, they do them
I
at
don't-
town hall.
I
Yeah,
think
Town hall,
cable,
yeah.
yeah, I think cable
Yeah.
does it.
The selectmen
cable.
do it.
Sure.
Right.
That's how we do it in my town. We have hybrids. As a matter of fact, our meeting at 7:00 is a hybrid, and we
I
have
would,
a couple
I
places at
would
town hall.
definitely schedule a couple of those
Okay.
at strategic times.
Does somebody
want
have
to-
a list of
Hmm?
all those people that got the override pass to say yes to the library people that are not necessarily on any of those committees, but they worked really hard with all their signs and everything to get the override pass?
I know you can't see me nodding in the screen right now, but I'm definitely reaching out to all those people.
Okay.
I went to, I was at a Capital Committee meeting today, and after it was over, so there's no tape of it, this part. There was chat from Mike Fitzpatrick as the chair of the Capital Committee, and he said that he feels that if you're inviting, and I guess he got an invitation for the whole Capital Committee to go. And then Shirley was there and she got an invitation for the whole Building and Facilities Committee to go. And I think you've changed the focus now, but what they were saying, which I agree, I'm conscious of it, is that you're in danger of breaking the open meeting law. If if the committee has to come, they have to have a posted meeting ahead of time and all this other stuff. So that was a concern there. Mike also mentioned that he feels that there needs to be that the project has to be clearly defined, and he does not see that right now. And this is necessary in order to convince the town that this project is the best. And then it was also mentioned that the public meeting that was going to be held at the library should not be held at the library because of the restrictions of space. So just make your determination that you're not going to have a public meeting there, or whatever it's called, public something or other.
That's a lot coming from Mike, without chatting with
No,
me.
that's not Mike. Mike, that was actually Shirley that was saying that she felt that it should not be at the library because there's a limitation of space at the library. It was Mike who did say that he was talking about putting the open meeting law in jeopardy by sending, an invitation to a committee, because they would have to post it and all this other stuff, which
What?
makes for
So
much
there
more.
are,
No,
there are,
It's
no, there are
just
I'm
an
having a hard time with
invitation.
that.
right.
It's not a
There are-
meeting. It's just an invitation so they know about it. It's an informative
Exactly.
bulletin.
And Mike
But-
felt that that the nature
crazy.
of the capital committee is not to prejudge something. And this is like prejudging it. That
No,
So-
it's not
come in
that.
like
It says,
everybody else in
Okay,
town.
before we get
propose
too lost
what
in
you
the
want
weeds,
as a
before
capital project.
he's
if
just
Mike
a
doesn't want to
citizen of
do
the
a
town and he's,
he-
Don't hit
Okay,
the people
okay.
that are
Right.
giving the
If-
message. I'm
right.
just
Stop.
presenting, this is what I heard just today, so this is something that you have to
It is,
realize
but
is going to
before we
happen.
get too lost in the weeds, I want to actually address the concerns, because this is the reason I split the town hall meetings up into 2 lunchtime slots and invited everyone on both committees to both. Because having a quorum of either committee at one of these focus groups would be miraculous. We're not going to get 100% participation. And if it's just 2 committee members coming to a focus group, it's not going to break any open meeting laws, because they're not having a meeting. They're talking to Mary Brainey about the library building, and they won't even have a quorum of people there. They won't even have the majority of the
Doesn't
board.
matter. You're not,
Yeah,
Oh.
so if I may, there are 2 options. Number one, if they think they're going to have a quorum, they can post the meeting. And one of the reasons it takes us so long sometimes to get the focus groups together is the posting of the meetings. The second thing is that they may come to meetings, the whole committee can show up. They are advised not to sit together so that it doesn't look like they're colluding or having conversations or anything like that. And it just happened. We just had it as we were going through our budget process. All 5 selectmen showed up at a finance committee meeting. They did not break the open meeting law because they did not confer. They just listened. It was a public hearing. So one of them had input as a private citizen. So there are, it's right to be concerned. You don't want to break the open meeting law, but there are some caveats that can make it doable. Alternatively, I could come to one of their meetings. They don't want to nobody wants to take up that kind of time with too much other business going on. But those are options.
And that's what I offered first, and no, it was a hard pass by both.
no,
but
that's
doesn't
not,
it make, okay,
that's just not people's opinions if you take it to their meeting. This is individual private citizens' comments. There's no decisions being made. It's comments,
exactly. No one's voting on anything.
no voting.
We're
Right. They
talking about,
can't vote, and they can't like go in a corner and talk to each other, as that looks like a committee.
They're
But
not
other
talking
than
to
that,
each
they
other.
can
They're
come.
talking to all the people who are there who are not on their committee.
I
Correct.
can see,
Yeah.
okay, I see, okay. I just saw your point, Mary, where with the open meeting law, if there's 2 or more people on the same committee and they're talking about committee business, that can be considered a meeting because I think it was cultural council, it might have been, but we were called on the carpet. Maybe it was library too, for doing that. There were 4 of us in the hallway, and we carried on the conversation from the meeting. And we got called on the carpet for it. So I can understand that. I understand that point of it. But I totally agree with Betty that we're looking for a conversation. And it's right if, all right, say the finance committee or the selectmen or whoever, there's 2 of them at whatever group it is, and they go off in the corner. Yes, that could be considered a violation of open meeting laws.
If it's a quorum, if it's a quorum, it's, and
No, it's
and a
bad even if
quorum-
there's 2 of
and a
them.
quorum are Yeah, it's tricky if they're just two, but if it's a quorum, it's definitely an issue. But
We're not
that-
inviting them as a committee. We're just
Correct.
informing them because that's the easiest way to reach all of them. We're not asking them to come as a committee. We're
Right.
saying this is how we reach your members to let you know of the focus group.
mhm,
Right.
that's it. Yeah.
Do we have to send an individual invitation to each person separately under their own name? Then
I
it
was
wouldn't be as
just
a
gonna say
committee.
that. Yeah.
No, that's
How about
everything. I
that?
think everything is fine. There are concerns, but I mean, I don't think that we have not done anything illegal. We're not planning on doing anything
No.
illegal. And, I think that by splitting the committees up via different meetings and, framing it in the way that we framed it, then we've already solved the problem before it occurs.
Mhm.
Well, we're all
Yeah,
going to be at that trustee meeting, so take a load of that.
But you have to, I would suggest that you post that trustees meeting, that you post that, because you are all going to be there and it is related to the library. So I think it'd be prudent to post it. And you can post it and just say that it's for informational purposes only, and no votes will be taken, no actions will be taken. And I've done that for exactly the same type of thing for other meetings, and it's fine.
But we said they're not going to be recorded. The records aren't going to be released until the end of all this.
Well, the only reason I ask that is so it doesn't muddy the waters with people see the trustees meet and hear what you say, and then they come in and they filter what they have to say. Do you understand what I'm?
Right, it was
No.
a good idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Of course,
okay.
it shouldn't be released until after it's all over. Of course.
So it's not about secrecy or anything. It's just about how the process works. How do you make the process work?
Not
So-
influencing other people's opinions.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. On the other hand, maybe nobody watches it anyway, so you could release it. You don't know.
Not in this town.
Well, is cable even working now? There's nothing. Is cable on the SNITs because there's nothing posted for several weeks now at all.
They
On
were
television.
at Capitol today. Pat was there and I spoke with him and
Yeah, but was it going to be put on cable? Because the meetings in the
it's
last
not put on live. It's put on the next day or so.
check, I have not seen anything on cable for 3 to 4 weeks.
Help me
Hmm.
either.
No, you must have seen it last week when I actually saw it at the senior center and stuff. And then I was on, I saw the selectmen's meeting last week.
On
There,
cable?
Board of Selectmen, May 16th.
Are you
On
looking at the
cable or on
YouTube?
on the computer or on the TV?
On the computer.
Yeah, it's not
there
on
may
the
be a
cable
problem
TV.
Because Pat was talking about something that was going cuckoo with cable.
Yeah.
But I wasn't
Yeah.
really listening because I
Well, it
It's
hasn't been
something-
working for quite a few weeks, so no meeting, no town meeting, no selectmen, no nothing.
yeah, and I actually saw the selectmen. I mean, I saw the selectmen's meeting. I listened to it and I listened to town meeting as well. But I did it through my phone. And I don't know if that's high tech or
Wow.
low tech.
Wow, that's interesting.
Because I wanted to hear what they all said because I didn't go to town meeting this year.
Yeah, but for it not to be on the television.
There is
That's-
some technical problem going on and Pat thinks he can fix it, but he hasn't yet.
All right, so in the manner of time, can we move on the agenda? Where are we? Oh, we're talking with Mary and coming up
Yeah,
with
we're still talking with Mary.
fruit. Okay,
It's not 7 yet. She doesn't have to go yet. So
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know
actually,
what time it is.
unfortunately, I have to leave. I have to go at 6:15 because I have to drive over there and set up my computer and everything too. So,
Right.
Okay.
sorry.
Well, I will need, if we're going to have to post our meeting that we're going to be having at the library, then we're not going to be able to have it at the library anymore because no
Right.
posted meeting can happen in a handicapped,
Yeah, yeah,
inaccessible place.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we'll have to move
Yeah.
the June 15th group to town hall. I'll have to see if they have a place at this point we can reserve.
Or can we
Um,
do that one as a Zoom one?
if-
No,
We'd
we
have
want
to move it to
everybody.
town hall anyway because that
It should be in
it's
person at
going
the
to be
beginning.
okay.
Yeah, but you wanted all the staff to be there, and the staff isn't that a library night when they're all going to be working? It's really
Yes.
important to have the staff there, really important.
I agree.
And if we
So,
post
I mean-
it, then we go through we have to give the agenda to Chris, and I think that's going to cause us a nightmare to make it a post. It's a focus group.
So question, right now I only have one trustee for sure slotted into this discussion.
I plan to be there.
Well, there's 2. There's Dawn and me and then now Kate.
And me.
Okay, then we'll have to post it.
Okay, that's all right. It's no problem posting it.
Well,
fine.
we'll have to
And
move
what
it.
date
too.
is it? When is it?
Well, right now it's June 15th at 6:30 p.m., but that date will now be contingent on the availability of the resource room at town hall.
And what about the staff?
They'll just have to come. If it's a posted meeting, we can't have it here. It's not legal.
I think you should
At what
maybe
time is it
consult
at?
with.
There's
Consult
not
with,
really any
Matt.
consultation to be had. Any publicly posted meeting for the town of Douglas government has to be in an ADA compliant space. So any
How
posted
about you
meeting-
consult
We
with
could have it in the senior center, couldn't we? We've done that. before.
yeah, but they're not open at 6:30 p.m.
They're not
Yeah,
open.
they can
No,
be.
and the
They've
staff-
done it before. We've done it
Mhm.
before there.
I
No,
don't
there's not
know.
good parking and the staff can't come. Why don't you ask Matt if it's a focus group, we can just not post it? Because we're getting into all kinds of legal problems if we post it. It's not going to look like other people can come. It's going to look like it's only for trustees, and it should look like more people are welcome than that.
Yeah, you'd think.
I don't think anyone would particularly notice whether it was posted on the town website or not.
Right.
No,
Ugh.
but if it's posted, I'm thinking they might have to record it and video it and all that, and that goes against all the plans that were originally set. You know, if you have a posted meeting, it's got to be recorded, and that's not what we wanted to do.
Well, let's turn this over to Mary. Mary, would you be recording, or would someone be recording these focus groups?
Well, I mean, so the focus group is, I put up a big piece of newsprint and write down your comments and then type up, what everybody said and send it to Justin and then use it as I'm writing the building program. But no, I don't record it. I never have. I've been in
Okay.
a couple of towns where they do, but I guess the concern is that you might want to check with whoever it is, your town clerk or whoever it is that sorts out how these meetings should be posted. But I've also not had people had the fact that it was a posted trustees meeting deter other people from coming either. So it is tricky. It's really tricky, especially if your town policy says you can't meet, or you have any posted meeting has to be in an accessible place.
Right.
Yeah, Douglas's open meeting laws take the Massachusetts laws and kind of amp them up to a ridiculous level.
Now,
Right.
if
So-
you have
Well,
a,
it brings
unfortunately,
us
they
back
do.
to the days of the Puritans.
now, when you have a story hour, you don't post that and make it happen at town hall.
Right.
Is that the same
Yeah.
idea?
So that's the
No.
question
What?
for whoever is in
Or
town, in your
adult
town.
program. So this is an adult program that Mary's at. We're
Right.
paying her to come
Okay.
and do this adult meeting.
Yes,
Like the beer makers.
Yes,
The beer
Sally.
makers was
Yeah.
I
not
like it.
posted through
Oh,
Chris.
okay.
And then if we post it and we don't have a quorum, well, what happens then? You know,
Nothing.
that it's
You
just
just don't have a quorum.
additional problems to, you know.
No, I
So
like
you-
Ellie's
you-
idea. I like
So-
Ellie's idea
Mhm.
Yeah.
that we're having a group, an adult group. And Mary is the presenter.
Is the
And it just
entertainment.
happens that that the trustees show up. So when you have other programs and a number of trustees show up, you don't have to post that.
No,
No.
Oh, okay.
If
All
we
right.
all want to make beer, we all go and make beer.
that's it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
If we all want to grow pot, we all grow pot.
Why
Right.
Who's bringing
Well-
the beer?
Why don't we just ask the town clerk to be safe and, say what
Mhm.
are the exact rules and this is what we intend on doing and will there be any consequences because of what we're doing? Or how should we go about it if we don't want to post it, but we want to have a get together?
You just,
Well,
and
then all the
really,
ones that
Digging
you,
your hole deeper and deeperly.
I don't, but the bottom line is that you don't want this to come back and have a negative effect on your project
Right.
Right.
by somebody in town, if that's, that,
Right. And if the
That's-
question's already been raised by people on other committees, then we should probably be safe and
Yeah.
check with the
and,
town clerk and
right.
So
And for
what
the
about
other
the other-
committees,
12 o'clock meetings, are they going to have to post those 12 o'clock meetings too?
no,
That are
not
town
if
hall?
they're, not if they're not official, any committee meetings.
If a quorum of a committee
Well, they
showed
are.
up,
What if
then
all the
that
selectmen
would-
show up?
case could be made that you would need to post.
No,
But I think
if-
that the chances
But
of that
not if you
happening
don't
are
talk to each
astronomically
other.
low.
And
Don't talk
if
to
they,
each other.
oh,
But
sorry.
what I'm saying is there's like a very, very small probability of this happening in the first place.
Exactly.
The odds of getting a quorum of the selectmen at one of these meetings is none. It's not going to happen. The odds of getting a quorum of the BFCC, I mean, that's a little bit better, but I'll spread them out between the two different meetings, then it's not an issue. And then if, someone would be going over the quorum whenever they ask to join that focus group, I would say, I'm sorry, it's filled. I can't give that seat to you. Can you come to one of the other things we're having? That has been the way I've been trying to approach it, which is why the easy solution to the Wednesday night group at June 15th would just be to ask only 4 trustees to come and then have the other 4 at other focus group meetings. I don't know if y'all would be amenable to that, but that would be one way to spread it out to ensure compliance with open meeting law.
Well, my
I'm
thing
planning on
is
going
that,
to all of them. And so if there's too many people at this one on whatever day this is with all the trustees, you should add Betty to it as well. She's coming to the one where there's 3 trustees right now.
You said you're
So-
I
planning on
don't think
coming-
everybody's going to RSVP. It's a focus group meeting.
No.
If they-
For the focus groups, they have to RSVP. No one who has not RSVP'd will be at a focus
Okay.
group. The public forums are not RSVP.
And-
like
Well,
they
that's
can
not
come
how
to
we
the-
did the focus, not how they went before at all. I thought they were open to people. I thought it was on a Thursday night so the staff could be there.
The June 15th meeting, yes, it is.
Because I want to hear what the staff has to say, and if I can't go to it, I'm not going to be able to hear what they have to say.
No, you can, I'll not go. I'll go to all the other ones, but not that one.
I can't go to the evening one, unfortunately. I was gonna go to the 12 o'clock one on June 15th.
Betty, Kate. I mean, if Betty and Kate and Ellie and Dawn come to the June 15th group, then that is not a quorum. And Danielle, you're coming definitely to.
Yeah,
What
I'll
was
come
that?
at noon time. Yep.
Yeah, now, Dana, you said what one you were coming to. I saw a little note here.
Which one, Dana?
Yeah, write it again.
Yeah, I can do the.
Wait, is there a message somewhere? What did I miss?
It was in the chat.
I can do the noon one.
The noon one on which day?
Definitely the first one.
June 15th.
June 15th.
All right, so then that's two of us at
But
that.
probably both.
It kind of defeats the purpose if you separate everybody out like this, because they can't go back and forth on ideas.
Right, so.
But that's
I think-
Mary's job.
Mhm.
But part of it is to find out we don't have to be together. We're like private detectives, and we're looking for what people have to say. And we don't have to be together for that. And then we get together afterwards and talk about what we found and what we heard.
And I think there's also a value in mixing up the people too, and having conversations and crosstalk that wouldn't happen otherwise, because you guys talk to each other all the time.
Exactly.
Having Danielle and Dana and Adam at a table is really exciting to me, because you are finally going to get to talk to the facilities guy who, you know, I mean, he's the only person I freak out when he goes on vacation. He's kind of an integral part of how we operate, even though he's not affiliated with the library at all. And I want to try to get more, build these groups as we get closer to time, to try to generate interesting crosstalk and conversations like that. Getting Selectmen and BFCC together, getting, a CIC and library trustees together. And then finding, the most outspoken patrons and getting them at the table too, so they can give you an earful.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I have about 5 minutes left. So if there's anything else you would like, I think the conversation that you're having is excellent. But if there's anything else you would like from me or that I can do or say, unfortunately, fortunately, I was able to Zoom tonight with you, but unfortunately, the one cast in stone commitment I have is the fourth Thursday at 7. So,
Is there anything else you think we need to know quickly?
no, I think it's a process. And for the gentleman who, at the meeting that Ellie was at today, that talked about not having a concrete plan, this is the plan building piece. So of course,
Right.
Of course, it's just starting. So that's the answer when people say, what else is there? Why
Right.
isn't there more information? This is the beginning, and we're working toward getting something really solid and really good.
I
Right.
would just like to ask quickly before you leave. I did read maybe halfway through all of the questions that you had, and I really felt like the questionnaire was almost reflecting back. It almost looked like something the MBLC would have written 20 years ago, and because you were talking books or this or that or stuff, and I if you're looking towards the future, is the ebook going to become more prevalent in people's lives, and so you don't need as much space for storage of books? I know Betty might disagree with me. That's all right. We disagree all the time. So, but so that's all. My feeling was that that it was sort of just reflective of the way libraries have been for hundreds of years, and the questionnaire, and not forward looking. But that's just me saying that. It's, you know.
So, would you like me to beef up the question about the use of the non-print, the other library services?
That was one of the questions was about, do you prefer audiobooks? Now, Justin's put me onto the e-audio, the Libby bit. So and now I can't do audiobooks anymore because this computer won't, or my iPad or whatever I used to use, iPod, that broke, and I'm not about to spend a lot of money on a new one. So Libby does fine for me, and Justin is great in buying what he feels I should read. So
that's
you
good.
mean whatever you ask for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have just a
that's-
couple comments on the survey. Is it okay if we just email back our
Sure.
ideas on
Yeah,
the survey?
we have to
Okay.
be respectful of Mary's time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would suggest, emailing any other questions or comments.
Okay. There you
Right,
go.
and yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be great.
Great.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
the-
Thanks, Mary.
oh, thank you so
Mary, for
much.
coming.
And as I said at the beginning, the survey is very much still a work in progress, as Justin will tell you. So
Right.
thank
right.
you so much. And yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
email
you.
or anything,
Thank
any
you.
questions, or send them through Justin. But thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We're happy
Look
to
All right,
have
forward to
thank you,
working with
Mary.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was very informative. I don't know why I'm so
Yeah.
blurry.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
that
try
is
it.
a
I have
huge
to
job.
This
Oh
whole
my
focus
God.
group schedule.
Yeah,
That's-
it's crazy.
Oh,
I
lost you.
have
Where are you?
something. If we're done, before we're done with old business. You still have other old business, right?
Well, I mean, are we done? She's gone, but we can still talk.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking, like, should we as individuals email or call or whatever people on town boards that we know that we think, like, not to do it as emailing a whole board, but like if I have a connection with somebody on such and such board.
I would say, please,
I was
yes,
thinking,
do.
yes, I was thinking
Yeah.
that would be a good
And
approach.
not put your affiliation with the library, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I mean, even
No,
if
I
you do
think
put your
that's
So you
affiliation
could
with
do
the
that.
library,
They
it's
know.
absolutely
Now they
fine.
got me scared about what are we supposed to be doing and not doing? I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
The
too much
only
red
thing
tape.
we have to be scared of is 5 or more people on this board meeting together and having a conversation without it being posted a week in advance and recorded.
Okay.
It's 48 hours in advance.
48 hours in advance. That's better.
I think that's doable. We have enough meetings that we can spread
Right.
ourselves up.
All right. Okay, so we can. Where
Carry
are
on.
we? All I can see is me.
So
Carry on.
we sh-
Okay, so are we done talking about goals and progress for the study building
Yes.
program? Okay.
so it's a lot to process.
Yeah.
There was, Ellie, when you were talking about the concerns at the meeting, I was writing notes, and there was Mike Fitzpatrick's meeting concern about open meeting, and you mentioned another one, and I forgot what it was.
Oh, well, he
And
also
surely-
said he felt it very important to define the project, and he doesn't feel that, and I think I've mentioned it to you too, that if that Mary is not just doing the building program for the MBLC grant. she's providing us with options of what we should do with the future of the building of the library. So it's, and that's,
it's very much a needs assessment. And so,
yeah,
if when
that's
we're
good.
done,
That's good.
we will tool it, so that it so that it crosses all the T's and dots all the I's we need it to, in order to be a strong grant application document, but it by no way ties us to the grant application process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's also another thing that came up at the Capitol meeting. And it was, I can't remember if it was when the meeting was going or when it was after it was over, but they have a home doc or something like that. It's, now I can't remember the name. It's Sessons and Sampson or something like that. That's not right, but it's an architectural firm that the town, so that they don't have to go out and keep on hiring architectural firms for things and going out for bid, and it gets very complicated. So they hired this one architectural firm to provide, and I don't know who's paying for it. I did ask in the meeting, so we must have talked about it in the meeting. I said, well, who's paying for this? And they said, well, initially the town is, or the selectmen are paying for their use. But if, for instance, the library wanted them to look at whatever program they were getting, then that's when the library would have to start paying that architect for his or their services. But it's worth talking to Matt or Mike about, and it's I know one of the names, and it's the second name is Sampson, because that was a friend of mine. That not Sampson, but I had a friend named, his last name
You
was
weren't Delilah, were you? I'm just kidding.
And I can't remember the first name that was in this, but it was so the town actually has an architectural firm on board, which I guess they call it the house doc. Yeah. For
that makes sense.
Ellie, did you say Shirley Mazinski had a question or an issue?
Well, Shirley was more interested in, she got the letter and she said that she wanted, I said when I was explaining it back to the group after Shirley had mentioned it to walking into the meeting. And I said, well, like if we have 500 people come, and Shirley said, I did not say that. So it was more like if there too many people came that they would fit, they could not fit in the library, then it would have to be transferred to the town hall. And why wait for the town, book the town hall now and forget the library.
So the two open forums are where now?
The town hall and the town hall, I think. Municipal center.
Well, they had a.
Oh, good. All right, the adults. So, yeah, put my name down there. I'm coming to that one too.
They had a committee to meet about.
So that's an open forum.
Well, yes and no. It's an open forum, but because of social center events, there can only be 8 participants.
Okay.
Because it has to be in one of the rooms and they have occupancy limits. So once we get 8 participants, I kind of have to cap it off and then try to shunt people somewhere else.
At the senior center?
Mm-hmm. The big room, like the big open room, is always in use 100% of the time. Is basically what.
No, that's not true. They have parties there. They have speakers there. The police come. They have things there all the time. There's
I know
30 people there.
That's the problem.
all the time. There's stuff scheduled in it all the way through June and July.
And the second forum is.
Couldn't they open an additional night? They're not open every night. They're not open at night.
I didn't ask them to alter their business hours for us.
That would entail Adam, not the adult social center. That's when we had a trustees meeting there. That was what, we had, I think it was Ricky that organized it all for us to be there.
And where's the second open forum? I keep going to click on it on the screen.
It's at the library on.
Okay.
It's scheduled for 6:30 on July 20th at the library.
And don't do it there. Have it at the municipal center.
I think that makes sense if it's the open one, the openest one.
I'm going to move that. Move.
In which as many trustees as want can come because it's an open meeting.
Yeah.
Let's not go down that road again.
Yeah, let's just ignore it. If we see each other, we won't talk.
They had a committee that got together to plan what they were going to do about the fire station, the police station, and the highway department. Now, was that posted? Because they had plenty of people from all those things all together. Did they get recorded? Were they posted?
Who was hosting the meeting?
I have no idea. I just know they had a committee that got together. They had to find a parcel of land and how many rooms they needed and how many square feet they needed. And they had meetings about it.
There's also a difference between a town appointed committee and people forming the committee. And I think that's what that was. That are all staff. So it was a staff appointed one. And that one, those ones, like the one that the personnel stuff that they just did, that was all in-house, not, the personnel board that doesn't exist, basically, was not hosting it and did not have to post it. And it was just staff people on that committee that did all the redoing of the pay scales of the staff in town. And that was recently. That's Justin knows that. He had to meet with them.
Mm-hmm.
There was about
was
5
that one of
people
those?
on it.
Was it 2 of those?
Okay. Can we go back to the agenda and see where we're at?
Okay. Yeah, messing up. I'm not going to listen to this meeting online, so I hope
All right, so I think we've gone through all of these things under number 6. Grants. Let's go to capital campaign.
We're at 161, 272, 42.
Nice.
And that's where all the money's sitting. We've got the 3 accounts that are invested with Bartholomew, which I will know soon how much we can certify the interest for at the end of the year, fiscal year. And the others are just reserved from the grants and regular donations.
Very good. Looking good. Going to go by other grants, LRP updates, and friends. How are the friends doing, Ellie?
they're doing good. They gave $3,035 to the Bartholomew Building Fund, so that was good. And that was at their annual meeting. And we also gave, I don't know how much, to Justin for programming. He wanted to up the programming, but then when we realized that we were not halfway, a third of the way through, or a quarter of the way through the year, he scaled back on it a bit. So that's why we're able to give money to the building fund. So, and do you remember how much money you're getting from the Friends for programming? 3,000 or something like that. Something like 3,000.
No,
And
3,000 is what I had originally asked for, and then it was pointed out that the year was already halfway over, so I only needed half that much. So it's around 1,500.
no, I think that's wrong. He asked for over 4,000. So we scaled it back and, but we don't know
guys are
what it
so
is right
funny.
now. So,
I love listening to the two of you bicker.
yeah, right. Luckily, my husband's hearing has gone, so I just bicker with myself all day long.
Okay, I'm gonna date myself, but I'm sure maybe Ellie remembers the Bickersons. They were on radio and they were always bickering about everything. I'm gonna go on. Okay, I'm gonna stop because we need to move
Oh,
This is the
forward.
Friends Library room. It is ready. It is ready for a book sale on Saturday. So come buy some
Okay,
books on
all
Saturday.
right, all right.
So it's open from 9 to noon. The Boy Scouts are setting it up for us and they're taking it down. So we don't need the heavy armed Danas and Kates of the world to come.
So we can drop off our plants
All right.
Friday.
Friday,
Okay.
yes. In the
In
back
back.
of the library is
Okay.
a good place. And Justin or the Boy Scouts are coming at 8. So I'm not familiar with how you get in the library anymore. So Caroline's going to be there at 8 or a little before.
I'll
I
come
told
at like 7:55.
and I told Mary St. Pierre to be there at 8 with the scouts behind the library. So I'm not sure. Somebody, you'll be there, so you'll open the door and smile and say,
Yep.
and so
We'll
will
be here at
Caroline.
7:55,
Caroline can
so I can
direct.
sort of like get the tables
I
where I
would
want
say
them.
I'll
Right,
be there.
exactly.
I'm dealing with serious hip degeneration. I need a hip
Oh.
replacement and I'm like barely able to hobble around. So
We have the scouts. They can carry you.
I'm but I was gonna say to help with putting things out.
No,
I'll
you
bring
don't
my
have to
plants-
worry about that. You know,
I'm
that's,
gonna bring my plants on Friday afternoon and put them in a safe spot and kiss them goodbye. It's
well,
like
thank
little
you.
babies.
It's very generous of you. Thank you.
Ah, God,
You're bringing
I'm-
basil, right?
I am bringing basil.
Oh,
I'm
you are?
harvesting it off outside right now. I murder basil, so I got to get it away from me as quickly as possible. It looks good right now.
Okay,
So-
good. So that's the only thing I have to say, I think, about the Friends.
All right. Oil furnace hot water heater is done.
Is it done? And I know
Yay.
that everyone thinks I'm a pushover when it comes to Jean and the finance piece, but she did want to hit the grant account for the full cost of the project and then have the oil that was in the tank, the discount amount, go back to the general fund. I fought that and won.
Good.
Because I was like, no, this is done. We've already paid the bill. I'm not, no.
I know. Give us a break.
Wow.
She is my friend. I thought she was my friend.
No, she is. I mean, and I get it because I mean, it was in what I proposed, you know, since like her, because I mean, it was money that was originally line itemed as oil. And then we basically sold it as to defray the cost of the furnace thing. So because it was in there, they took it out, they discounted the project. So if you look at it from a certain point of view, it looks kind of sketchy. But I was like, well, we can just reclass the original oil purchase as, you know, repairs and maintenance. And because I mean, it's the exact same vendor, it's Socha's, that's where the oil came from. And it literally won't make a hell of a beans of difference.
Nobody's going to look at that.
Good for you, Justin.
Nice job.
So we won one.
Yay.
Yay! Yay! Put your chalk mark up on the wall. All right, 1,000 books before kindergarten.
Deb finally got to visit Dudley yesterday evening. She spent 2 hours there chatting with their children's librarian about 1,000 books before kindergarten and about a dozen other things too. So before next meeting, we should have like a revised proposal based on what she's learned and what she did from there. But we haven't had time to chat about it yet because the meeting just happened yesterday.
Okay. All right,
So
we
we'll
look
talk
forward
about
to
it and
that.
put it on the agenda next month.
Yep.
For next-
Table it again.
Right. Under other old business, I wanted to bring something up that I think kind of fell off the chart. And that is an update for the Story Walk project for the Eagle Scout.
Oh yeah, it should deploy on June 23rd.
Is he
And,
funded? Does he have?
He is funded. He's
Oh,
completely
great.
funded. He's got all of his conservation committee approvals and all that stuff. They are going to make him move one post to the other side of the trail. So you'll have them all in a line except for one, because there's like one like pool or brook or something that abuts in. But other than that, he's all good to go. So the
Oh,
post should
wow,
be out on
that's-
June 23rd. I still have
What's the
unused
date again, Justin?
June 23rd.
June 23rd.
It's my wedding anniversary.
So is that June 23rd is when it's going to start being built? Or
Well, June 23rd is when they're going to go in the ground because he's prefabbing them now. And on June 23rd, they should go in the ground. And I need to have a story walk ready to put in it immediately on June 23rd.
okay.
Do you have one?
I will by June 23rd.
Well,
I've got the raw
I'm here.
materials.
Justin, I'm here. You know, I'm here.
Nothing will need laminated or anything because it's all going under the protective glass.
Oh, that's true. All
So
right.
it's that's why I'm excited. This is going to be super easy to maintain
my,
and to update and to review, because there's not going to have to be, you know, all the laminating and the pasting and the gluing and the velcroing and getting it to like the
Yeah.
it's just going to be nuts. I go loosen, lift
Oh
up the
my God, I
plexiglass,
love it. I got
slide
it.
it underneath, put it back down.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So should we have like a special opening of it or
A
recognition
program,
or
like a walk,
something
story walk program.
when we get close to it?
That would be fun.
Somebody dress up like a clown? No.
No,
Children
no
hate-
clowns. No clowns.
No.
Too
Oh
scared.
no, I was doing that. Okay. That goes back to my life, my previous life.
Yeah, I do want to
I
schedule
would
something,
attack
but I want
anyone
to wait
who's
till
dressed
closer
like
to
a clown.
time just in case something goes awry. Because I don't want to schedule a story walk program now and then find out that
Right. So when it's done
they
and
couldn't drill a
everything's
hole or
ready,
something.
maybe we can do. I'm happy to do something to get.
You can't walk. You said you had to
Yeah,
get
I
her to
know.
hit
You got
Well,
to get that
I'll be
hip replaced.
better. I'm waiting for a cortisone shot.
Mm.
Not going to help. Schedule
Oh,
the
I hope-
surgery.
Ugh, don't talk about that. Anyhow, let's move on. All right. So I'm happy to hear that. Let's go to new business. Honeydew.
Honeydew projects. This is nothing that I'm doing now, but you know, something that I want to do before next meeting is get some quotes for some work. We moved the boiler, as you can see. This is where it was. We've got some bricks that are in need of repointing, and it's not just in here. So while they're in here, I want them to look at some of the bricks in the other basement and just get a quote for repointing the bricks and, you know, resealing the walls and painting it before I mount a whole bunch of shelves back there.
Right.
And the other thing I want to do is, remember when we didn't know how the hot water situation was going to suss out, and we were having electrical work, and while we were having it done, we had Jeff Grenier install an electrical outlet in the bathroom.
Wow.
So that we could potentially
Who
install
would think?
a source of point hot water tank.
You can't reach the
This
toilet.
is the
but
wire
you
that
can
goes
plug
there,
in.
and now we don't have anything to use that for. So I would like him to move that plug to this wall because the cable's right here. And Rebecca is in desperate need of more power outlets because right now she only has one, and it is over there on the pillar. So it is quite easy to trip breakers down here. And she's limited in what she can use at the same time. Like you can't use the computer and the scanner and the, the flatbed thing she has. It's like, pick and choose or else you're going to throw the breaker. So I'd like to have Jeff Grenier give us a quote on moving that electrical outlet in here, which, should be pretty easy. And also uncapping some of the electrical outlets, which we capped during the pandemic. Because remember when we failed our electrical inspection?
Right.
Because there were open, sockets all over the floor that kids could stick their fingers and stuff in. To save some dough, we just capped a lot of them, and we only kept ones open in the corners so that we would have room, like, to plug in a cord for a vacuum cleaner or a light or something if we needed it. But now we've got patrons back in the library, and the one thing we forgot about is they all want to be able to plug in their stuff. So I want to have him uncap a couple of those. There's one in the middle of the DVD room, and then there's one in the children's room. I want him just to replace with outlets because those are places where people could plug in and use their computers
Right.
if they were open. But since we just capped them off, they can't. So I'd like to get quotes for getting fixtures put in there, fixing that fixture over there, and then doing the brick and painting so that we can all this a more attractive space and put shelves in it and turn it into a decent archive.
All right, that sounds great. So what are we looking at for an amount of money? Do you have an idea?
Don't know yet.
Nope. I'm just hoping to have quotes next month. This is an FYI, so you're not surprised.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're not looking for a vote.
Nope.
Okay. I think that sounds like a great idea. As
I
usual.
agree.
Yep, sounds good.
So I think we're all set. With that
Yes.
other
All
new
I got.
business. I have to put my plants inside. It's getting cold. Next meeting is June 27th at 5 p.m. All right.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Standing vote, a standing vote.